Hello, everybody.
Okay, this is 240870, the People versus Tal Wade.
Good morning, I'm James Kazuki on behalf of Mr. Wade. We've had the opportunity to go over pre-sentence report, no additions or corrections, as from court, not recommendation.
Okay, is there anything your client wants to say on his behalf?
You don't have to say anything? You don't have to say anything anymore.
Probably never do this again.
All right, Mr. Wade, I reviewed the pre-sentence report, and I'll note that this is your first, serious misdemeanor. It's not a driving offense, but for the amount of money that you took, if the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office was properly staffed, this would not have been charged as a city case. It would have been charged as a state case, and it would have been a felony, and you would have been a felon. So that's the reality of the amount of money that you embezzled from this company and took. I was a former prosecutor. I am aware of what this would have been. I am aware that the prosecutor's office is not able to get to all of these matters, so they're being charged by the city. But this would have been a felony, a 4-year felony. You could have done up to 4 years in prison for this. And I hope you understand, like, I'm not going to go on and on. I promise, Mr. Gazicki, but I'm going to say this. These types of offenses, you're given this benefit of doing probation. And if you complete probation, you won't have a public criminal record of this. But I cannot express to you how serious cases like this are. Not only could it have been and probably should have been a felony, but it's a theft case. Right? And of all the types of crimes that people can commit, right? Of all the different types of things, driving on suspendeds, yeah, it's against the law because the government says so, right? Yeah. And then some crimes go to your character, and theft goes to your character, right? Are you an honest person? Are you a trustworthy person? And if this conviction lands on your record or isn't removed from your record at the end of this period, you're going to have difficulty for the rest of your life when you have to disclose this. Like, this is going to make you a thief, and would you want to hire a thief? I mean, it's not good. These kinds of cases, and I know this was done incrementally to get to that dollar amount, but this could have serious repercussions on your life. And I hope you do some reflecting on like the type of man you want to be, because being a thief is not something I think anyone wants to do, especially with your background. Like, you have an education in a field that you know better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and you can be a statistic or you cannot. So that's a life choice that you're going to have to make. But like, you don't have a criminal history. I think the sentence is appropriate, but this is a real bad way to start. So that's my lecture for the day. I'm going to adopt the recommendation: fine of $50, court costs of $25, state costs of $50, crime victims' rights fee of $75. Those two are mandated by the state. Community service fee of $10 per day for a total of $50. And you have restitution in the amount of $4,203.66. You're going to serve a period of 12 months of probation. You're going to do 5 days for 40 hours of community service in the city of Taylor as directed by the probation officer, and provide proof. You're to abstain from the use or possession of alcohol and controlled substances unless they're prescribed by a physician. And you could be subject to random drug and alcohol testing as deemed necessary at your expense. You're to complete the economic crime class 1 day as directed by probation through ETRS, and provide proof and follow all therapeutic recommendations. Can't go to Tim Hortons. You're to attend and complete any other ancillary services deemed warranted. You're to stay out of establishments that primarily sell and serve alcohol. You're to maintain employment and provide proof. Are you working now?
Yes.
You must clear all outstanding bench warrants. You cannot drive without a valid license. The sentence is delayed under 771.1. Were you printed? Have you ever
Yes.
been printed on this? You were? Okay. Okay, I'm adopting the recommendation in its entirety. And I hope you learned something from this. These are not the kind of cases you want as a young man. All right, you're all set, sir. You'll hear from probation. A matter of fact, when you leave here, go downstairs to probation and you can try and set up your appointment to go over those orders. I don't expect you to remember everything I just said.
Yeah, I saw something I leave downstairs. I was like, can I take a picture of it? Cause I ain't gonna remember everything.
Yeah, they'll get you a copy. You have a
Okay.
right to have a copy of that. So they'll get that for you and set up the date
Do you need this
for
card?
your first meeting with them. Okay?
Yes,
All right, you're all set.
thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
No, just
Thank you.
information. Yeah.
Okay. This is 241641, the City of Taylor versus Kevin Kowalczyk.
Good morning, Your Honor. James Gazicki on behalf of Mr. Kowalczyk. Your Honor, we're requesting an adjournment. I'm still waiting on a discovery order. It was submitted on July 15th.
Okay. We'll adjourn it just a few weeks out
To the 26th trial.
for discovery. And then we'll see Mr. Kowalczyk back on his other date.
26th.
Yeah, we have a jury trial this Friday.
Yep.
Okay. All right. And ma'am, can you tell me your name? Mrs. Bardell, you had left the courtroom at the bond violation hearing, but I want to make it crystal clear to you. If I find out that you have been contacting and harassing the complainant, I don't need you to talk, I need you to listen. If I find that out, then I'll mute you, Mr. Kowalczyk. Just let me say what I need to say. If I find out that you have been having contact with her, I will hold you in contempt.
Leave her alone.
No, one second, ma'am, do you understand me? Okay, we're good then. All right, Mr. Kowalczyk, we'll see you on Friday.
You too. Have a blessed day. God bless, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, you too.
Was he telling the judge to leave her alone? Or was he telling his girlfriend to leave the complaining witness alone? I'm not sure which.
Your Honor, I have Edward Hawk.
Okay. All right, this is 241686, the City of Taylor versus Edward Hawk.
Morning, Your Honor. James Gazicki on behalf of Mr. Hawk. He's going to plead guilty to the charge of disturbing the peace. Prosecutor agreed to dismiss the imitation firearms with the understanding that the BB gun will be forfeited. I'm also asking the court if we could give him credit for time served. He's been in jail 10 days on this matter.
And good morning, Your Honor. Matthew Zick for the people. There is a victim on this matter who was logged in this morning. I spoke with. We thought it was going to be adjourned, so she logged off. I talked to her. She's logging back in. Is there a Renee DeFrank? We'll need to bring her in. But Mr. Gazicki's right about the plea agreement.
Okay. Let's get her in here. All right, I see that Mr. Frank is present as well. So I understand there were some issues, or I recall this from the arraignment on this matter. There were some issues with respect to the charge of the imitation firearm. And it looks like the two of you have worked it out without a motion.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so that one would be dismissed. And then there's a plea to 241687 for disturbing the peace.
Yes, Your Honor. And there's also a stipulation to forfeit the item seized as evidence in this manner.
I think the facts of this case are alarming. I want you to know that ahead of time. So I understand that there is a request for credit for time served. I don't know that I'm going to follow that request based on the allegations in this case. But I understand it's just a recommendation, but I want the parties to be aware of that. Mr. Hawk.
Yeah. Yes,
You
ma'am.
understand that disturbing the peace is, 1 second. You understand that disturbing the peace is a 90-day misdemeanor with a fine of up to $500?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's the maximum I could give you. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and did you go over your constitutional rights with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you give your attorney permission to sign your name on this advice of rights form, Mr. Hawk?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sir, you understand if you enter a plea of guilty, you'll be waiving those trial rights. There will be no trial of any kind.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand if you're on probation or parole and you enter a plea on this case, it could be a violation of your conditions.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you understand that there's a recommendation for 10 days jail with credit for time served, and that I've indicated already on the record, I'm not inclined to follow that recommendation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And are you a United States citizen, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Knowing all of that, how do you plead to disturbing the peace?
How do I plead?
Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Has anyone forced you to get you to plea?
No.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea agreement to get you to plea? I'm sorry, did you answer that, sir?
No.
Are you pleading guilty of your own free will?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you in the city of Taylor on July 11th of 2024?
Yes.
And while you were in the city, sir, on that date, did you do something that disturbed the peace?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
Well, I didn't really wave it around like they said. It fell out of my pocket and I put it back in my pocket.
All right, so what did they say you were waving around?
A BB gun.
All right, and that would have been in the area of Telegraph and 94?
Yeah.
All right, and was there traffic on Telegraph Road at that time?
Yeah.
Mr. Gazicki, Mr. Fando, are you satisfied with the factual basis there?
People are satisfied, Your Honor.
Defense satisfied, Your Honor.
I wouldn't be. He didn't take responsibility for it. I would make him say that he was waving it around as is alleged.
All right, Mr. Frank, you have an opportunity to speak at this time if you would like the court to know anything prior to sentencing.
Okay, so I do want to say something. I was born and raised in Taylor for 30 years. Never experienced anything that scary in my life. Did not know it was not a real firearm. I was at the red light under the Blue Bridge on Telegraph. I had just dropped my 2 sons off to my mom's. I was on my way to a hair appointment. I'm at the red light and I'm in the right lane. And I see him walking southbound. So I'm going northbound on Telegraph. He's walking southbound. And as he's walking up, I witnessed him pull a black gun from his waist. Nothing fell out. He pulled it out of his waist and he was waving it around. I started just shaking and I immediately called the police. So, and another thing I want to note is he had a very smug look on his face, and I was absolutely petrified. And that's just the facts of the case. And I just, you know, that's why I'm here today. Real or not, I was scared. I mean, beyond scared. So I know for a fact that it did not fall out because I watched him pull it from his waist. So that's all I wanted to say.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. The facts of this case, Mr. Hawk, I don't think you understand when you engage in behavior like that, not only do you put other people in fear of their lives and safety, but you put your own life at risk. If police officers would have responded and seen you waving around your gun, which I do believe you did, I don't believe you that it just fell out, they'd have shot you. And they would have been rightfully so. If they see someone standing on one of the busiest roadways, probably in the state, and they see someone waving around a gun, they're not going to go, oh, excuse me, sir, is that a real or an imitation firearm? They're going to protect themselves and they're going to protect the public. And what's most alarming to me about this case is on 5/9 of 23, which is just over a year ago, in the 25th District Court, you had another misdemeanor that you pled guilty for brandishing a firearm in public. And it's appalling to me. It's appalling. This is just absolutely out of control. I don't know if you have a death wish. I don't know what a person could possibly be thinking to behave the way you did. I am not following the recommendation. You're doing all I can give you is 90 days and you're doing every day of it. You'll get credit for the days that you've already served. But I find your conduct to be absolutely alarming, a danger to the community, a danger to you, just completely, it's crazy. And I don't know what you're thinking, but I don't know what needs to happen for you to learn, but the fact you just did this last year and you just pled guilty to it a year ago is unbelievable. Every day I can give you, you'll sit. An appeal to circuit court may be taken within 21 days from the date of sentence or is permitted pursuant to MCR 6.625 parent B. If the sentence includes incarceration, which it does, and you wish to file an appeal but are financially unable to retain an attorney, the court will appoint a lawyer to represent you on appeal if the request for the lawyer is made within 14 days of the date of sentencing. So you have 14 days from today to request a lawyer. But sir, if I could give you more, I would. But I can't. Mr. Frank, I am so sorry that happened to you. This is just unbelievable. So that's my sentence and we're all set.
My life just wouldn't be the same without you guys in it, and I appreciate every single one of you. Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.